Okay, so I actually, whoops, hooked up the system. Oh, let me show you the shoulder button issue. Oops. This is the right shoulder button, and as you can see, if you press it down, it clicks nicely, and there's actually quite a gap remaining. The left shoulder button is just mushy. It doesn't work, and if you fiddle with it a bit, then you can make it click a bit. But yeah, it seems, I think the spring is supposed to the spring is gone, so you can change the aspect ratio on the screen by pressing that button as well. But yeah, that's just a major letdown for me. But I hooked it up over the micro or the mini HDMI cable on this Samsung TV, and the image quality was not very good. It was very the contrast was far too high. It was very pixelated, and no fun. Actually, the best video input is actually the composite video, and I actually plan on recording some of the gameplay footage and perhaps show you guys from a direct video grab the refresh rate issues and the sound issues that actually do happen with this device. Yeah, I was curious. I wanted to hook it up and see how it functions. I actually am quite happy with the joysticks. I mean, on their own merit, the joysticks are actually quite fun. And when I played Metal Slug, it was actually quite fun playing Metal Slug. I don't have Metal Slug on the AES, so I mean, far too expensive. And I mean, it does sort of emulate Metal Slug on the AES, playing it on this, but yeah, at a stuttering frame rate and with worse sounds. But yeah, I mean, it does emulate it pretty well, and the controls are actually quite responsive. So yeah, I'm gonna push this in. I mean, I mean, it does look, and it's turned off, so you have to align all the things up closely together, so then it just fits. I mean, I do like the concept, the way it looks, but yeah, it's a bit cheaper than I would like it to be. So turn on the device, and it takes a while for it to actually register it being turned on. And let me start the my video grabbing software. So I'm gonna start the recording. Okay, so let's press the menu button, and yeah, it's in NTSC mode. Yeah, as you can see, I've inserted the SD card with the extra game, and I'll just load it up. Sound is actually quite of a very low volume, and but the composite video actually sports the best display on my system. You can actually see some refresh rate issues in this grab as well, where you can actually see horizontal lines appearing. Actually, this is a great game. And, let's see how I fare. I love the intro. I've never seen this on the NeoGeo. Actually, I don't have this. I think no. 1996, I believe. And great visuals, and I mean, the sound coming from the NeoGeo is a very nice stereo sound, only a bit of a bit low volume. And what I love about these games is actually that they always show you the how you play them, and this actually has these 4 buttons actually have a very nice way of how do you say that? these 4-button control schemes actually have a very nice way of having multiple game modes available, you know, multiple weapons and stuff. You can select them, you can do combos, and yeah, fighting this old guy, I thought, yeah, I'm pretty good because it's quite easy to beat him, but yeah, the old guy is probably very slow, so it gave me a sense of supremacy, perhaps. Easily beat him. I win! Love the animation frames, and I'm a big fan of pixel art, so yeah, give me a sprite-based game anytime above a polygon-based game, I guess. Especially when they are so animated so beautifully as is done on this game. Actually, the output on the video grab looks better than on my LCD TV, and on my LCD Samsung TV, which is a SyncMaster P277T HD. I turned on the game mode, and that may actually have induced more VSync issues than in the other mode. I actually hooked it up to my on my multi-norm big ass TV after shooting this footage, and yeah, the horizontal frame, what is it? The horizontal refresh issues, or the how do you say that? The VSync issues. They seem to be less pronounced if you played on a CRT TV. I must say, the output on the HDMI white balance is totally off, so you really have to turn down the contrast and completely change the white balance on your TV if you compare to other sources. Composite video mode actually looks best. So let's try another game. And of course, SNK is well known for its fighting games. And actually, when you play it over the stereo, the sound actually is a bit better than over the thin speakers of the handheld device or the TV. But the sound quality is, I'm not sure. There's something going on that's not like the original. I guess an emulation thing, but I mean, emulation is full speed, and yeah, from what I gathered, actually, software emulation is used, and the means, how do you say that? There's some evidence that the way the makers acquired the emulation software is not necessarily legal or the way to do things. That's what I heard. Yeah, go check out NeoGeo-X forums or other forums. There's more information on that. NYC Gamer actually gave up that information. Yeah, great looking game. I mean, for fighting games, I mean, this is an excellent way to legally play NeoGeo games. And I mean, the games that are included are actually quite fun, and they play really well. It's not the quality of the NeoGeo-AS, like I told you, but yeah, hooking it up and just, you know, playing with the joystick, it did bring a smile to my face, even though it feels a bit cheaper than the original. Still, I mean, you really are able to control the sprites well. The buttons work. And well, that's nice. I mean, I probably won't be using this device as a handheld. I actually have sent an email to the sellers, complaining about the manufacturer fault I discovered in my system, and whether or not I could return it or have it exchanged for another system, or, you know, see how what they say and how they come back to me. if they for some reason don't come back to me, this company will never be serving me as a customer again, and I will probably yeah, just stick with it or try to repair the button myself. Not sure. Yeah, another game. Kind of a wrestling game. Not really a fan of it, but it's alright. I prefer actually my shooters, but if you are a Neo Geo aficionado, or you like the SNK brand, you do need to love your fighting games as well. So let's select a player. The Rookie Championship. The Rookie Championship. Quite amazing how a lot of digitized sounds are actually included in these games. I mean, of course, the original cartridges were huge, and I'm not sure actually whether or not the games were actually that much bigger in size compared to, well, the cheap counterparts. The Genesis. Actually, I mean, if you look at the hardware, the processor of the Genesis, the processors of the Genesis, the Z80 and the Motorola 68000, they were actually the same. Only the Neo Geo is clocked at a higher frequency, I guess, and it's able to output more color. So the video unit, the video processing unit, is actually more advanced on the Neo Geo. But yeah, but I guess you could actually look at the Genesis as the poor man's Neo Geo. I mean, one would never expect something like a Metal Slug to appear on the Genesis, I guess. Another game, Puzzled. I believe this is somewhat of a Tetris look-alike, and I think I have to check it out. Yeah, indeed. Here's the intro. Yeah, I had to cut because the wife had some iTunes problems syncing her audiobooks. So basically, this is a Tetris-like game where you can drop all the symbols down to the screen, down to the bottom, and if you form a line, it gets well. You just saw the intro, so Tetris-like, actually quite fun to play. But of course, yeah, a Tetris ripoff with a change in the gameplay. Sadly, they didn't include Puzzle Bubble. That would just have been awesome. But they didn't, and yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if they are going to release these cards at a reasonable price, and reasonable, I think no more than $14–15 euros. That would actually be quite fun, but then these modified SD cards, I mean, if they come with these yeah, carton shrink wrapper things, I mean, it's not really a collectible thing, is it? I would expect them to just sell them in, I don't know, boxes that are, I mean, compact cassette boxes, you know? That kind of boxes, kind of emulating the original huge whopping ass vinyl boxes of the AES system. I mean, you could do something very nice with that, you know, and could actually make it somewhat of a collectible system, perhaps. Yeah, 90 days warranty. That is actually something that just blows my mind. It only has a 90-day warranty, so. Yeah, shmups. Shmups are actually, yeah, this is actually a great looking intro, a 20XX. Year 20XX. Very tough game, and yeah, I mean, it does look like the original. Colors are actually better looking in the video grab as that they are on my LCD TV. They were actually also looking better on the CRT with composite video, so I guess best video quality, actually the best video quality you get with a CRT TV. And but the composite video signal is a bit dirty. I don't know if you can see that from this grabbing, because this video grab, because the I mean, the system is really very nice. It's a Pinnacle PVC 170 or something. A very old thing, but I mean, it's multi-norm. It grabs PAL, it grabs NTSC. I mean, it just takes about everything that you throw at it, which is cool, because that way I can actually, if it's standard definition, I can just grab all sorts of video signals. But what is it? Actually the signal is quite dirty. There's all sorts of interference that you can actually see jumping up and down. I mean, it's worse on the LCD, but yeah, of course the LCD in game mode, LCD TV in game mode, I mean, and standard definition composite video signals. I mean, the Samsungs and a lot of the other LCD TVs, they're not at their best when it comes to grabbing signals like that. CRTs, I mean, I tried it on the JVC, I tried it on my big whooping ass Philips multi-norm TV. Perhaps I should do a separate video on that as well. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a lot better. The colors are oversaturated, so you do have to tone down your colors quite a bit. I mean, and then you can actually make it look a lot better, actually. So the output signal, I'm not sure if that's something that can be changed with an upgrade or with an update or anything, anything like that. But yeah, on the HDMI port, there's a lot of white, there's a lot of contrast, and yeah, almost like the signal is too strong, if it were an analog signal. And the composite video signal, it's kind of a dirty signal with a lot of the colors are way oversaturated. So if you tone that down, it's actually quite a lot more workable, doable, and it looks a lot nicer than if you just hook it up and treat it like any other console. You really have to fine-tune it a bit, which could not be a big deal. I must say, actually hooking it up and playing it with the USB controller, the USB stick, yeah, actually was a lot better. Let me see another game. Last Resort. That actually was a lot better. It actually brought a smile to my face. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I mean, even though the arcade stick does feel a bit cheap. I mean, with a lot of maneuvers, it's actually okay. I mean, it really feels okay. But sometimes with a specific move, if you make, some sort of rotation move, like where you make a circle movement with a joystick, sometimes you would feel something, some sort of resistive thing. Yeah, hard to describe, but you think, oh, I mean, it doesn't really feel that great then. But I guess that's just, that's just, a thing you have to live with. It does make a lot of noise, and sometimes if you press, the A button, the B button quite rapidly, sometimes it squeaks. Because the plastic is actually the button is actually rubbing against the plastic of the upper shell. Yeah, something that actually doesn't happen with my original controller. So, yeah, but I mean, if you don't own an AES system, I mean, it's a fun thing. But yeah, on my other video, I got a lot of responses where people, and also on other social media, people were actually telling me like, you shouldn't have put your hopes up that high. I didn't expect it to be any good. Well, actually, because of SNK officially, condoning this release, and SNK being a company that actually has very high standards when it comes to quality, I thought, well, they may actually have pushed Blaze to produce something that is actually quite nice standard. And of course, I didn't expect the exact same quality as a high-end video game system like the AES was, because that was just an amazing, super expensive console, costing twice or triple the amount of money that a contemporary console of the same era would cost. So, if you compare the AES with if the AES was a current gen system and you would compare it with an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 3, you would actually pay double or triple that price. So yeah. I mean, of course, they use different components. It's not as I mean, you can't just really compare it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But I would have expected better quality control. I would have expected somewhat of a slightly better level of finish. I mean, if you look at the quality that Nintendo is putting out and how much a new Wii actually costs, or what a PlayStation 2 actually cost, you know, I mean, there's the last new PlayStation 2s are actually on the shelves. But if you look at the level of quality of a PlayStation 2 controller, level of quality of a PlayStation 2 console, I mean, perhaps the PlayStation 2 is not the finest example of a good console, actually, because, how do you say that? I mean, they are prone to fail, PlayStation 2 consoles, both the fat models and the slim models. But it's one of the most successful consoles ever, and the build quality is pretty damn okay, and warranty is pretty damn okay, I guess. I mean, yeah. Sometimes it feels like I'm contradicting myself, but yeah. I mean, I always find it hard to find faults with things that people put a lot of time and effort in creating, and I think the people of Blaze really put a lot of time and effort in creating something that they thought was going to be a hit, was going to be very nice, and I think in a lot of ways it actually is. But I think for a lot of people this just won't be the thing that they thought that they were going to get, and for me, I think they did a fantastic design on the console. I really did. I really do. The fact that you can actually put the handheld inside, you know, the facsimile of the NeoGeo AES is really nice, and yeah, and from videos and from photos and from you know, I mean, yeah, or squinting through your eyelashes, it really looks nice. Close up, you see how yeah, you see the level of quality, and you see the imperfections, and yeah, I mean, if you put in a USB, I mean, the USB connections on the NeoGeo-X actually feel like very cheap, like it feels like a very cheap hub, you know. And I've got some Sidecom, I guess, Sidecom USB hubs, and the connections, the quality of those connections actually is pretty damn fine. I mean, they feel really solid, and that's something that, I mean, a NeoGeo AES, a real system, feels solid. This system doesn't feel solid at all. It actually feels a bit flimsy. And yeah, I think if they used, I mean, I think the molds that they use are great. I mean, very nice finish, and the texture on the plastic is also very nice. The molds are good, I guess. Perhaps they could improve, because, you know, my shoulder button doesn't want to work, and actually the NeoGeo-X base, you know, the docking station, the top shell and the bottom shell actually made of different types of plastic, and that's where you run into problems, because you actually see that when it sits on your on a flat surface. You actually see that there's a size difference and you actually see that there's different plastics used, and the line in between the two parts isn't flush or isn't of the same width. You know, I mean, it's hard to describe, but it just doesn't, it looks cheap. I think that if they had invested in a slightly better, maybe a slightly heavier type of plastic, that would have immensely improved the product. Of course, it would have made it more expensive, perhaps even, but that would really have improved the product a lot, you know, from the appearance, the mechanical side of things. From the software side of things, I think, yeah, there's obviously speed and sound issues. I mean, the speed is, and now here, Metal Slug. That's actually the best game on this whole compilation. I think the fighter games too, but Metal Slug, yeah, it's a really fun game, and playing it with a controller like this, I mean, it really feels very natural, and it really brings a smile to my face. And yeah, paid a bit too much money to be able to play it, I think. But yeah, I'm for Metal Slug, playing it with a NeoGeo-X controller, well, brings a smile to my face. So yeah. Oh yeah, if they used a better quality mold, and if they used better quality plastics, this product really would have been a winner. And on the technical side, I think that if they put more, I mean, perhaps this, how do you say it? Perhaps the hardware inside is actually capable of producing a better signal. Perhaps the hardware inside is actually, if it is tuned correctly, is able to produce a better, yeah, just a better experience. Perhaps it's a software issue, perhaps, you know. But I think, yeah, I think some people were actually satisfied more quickly with things. Perhaps that you were just less perfectionistic than I am. I'm just a huge perfectionistic person, I guess. Okay, well, yeah, just see me finish playing this game. Would I buy this again? No, not at this price. If it was 50 to 60 euros, I think I would buy it. In this configuration, I really would buy it. But probably that's not gonna be cost effective for the guys producing this. So yeah, well, that's my 2 cents. I think I won't be making another NeoGeo-X video actually. What I do think is that I may actually end up using the NeoGeo-X joysticks as USB sticks for, you know, for playing MAME or for playing Neo Geo games on one of the emulators on the PC, because they do run better than this emulator on the hardware, on this NeoGeo-X hardware. And yeah, probably this is some sort of ARM-based system, very closely related to the other Android-type devices that are out there. And yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of people have been saying it looks like a, it really looks like a Dingo. With all the open source stuff ripped out and just, you know, proprietary software only. And yeah, perhaps it is. Perhaps it's just, you know, open source stuff that has been transformed into a closed source system. And yeah, well, I'm gonna shut up and yeah, this gameplay footage will just continue a bit, and yeah, I'll let you guys enjoy it. Okay.
Rocket launcher. Heavy machine gun.